Hey guys, it's Wanda from Crazy Days. Today, a little bit of history on Deep South Homestead. 8 years ago when I came here, this sidewalk was here, but that was it. There were some roses at the far end near the house. There was a big maple tree that we took down last year because of storms. It was dying. But basically, these sidewalks were virtually nothing there. Danny and I put the lightered post, and these are fat pine lightered. These were the heart of a pine tree many years ago here. We had a sign hanging that Danny painted, and since then it fell off, but hopefully one day we'll have another sign hanging here in the future. We went out in the woods in the spring when the huckleberries were all putting on blooms and huckleberries, and we tagged a bunch of small huckleberry trees or bushes. And the next fall, we went and dug them up and we planted them on our sidewalk. And they were just little bitty trees. They looked horrible, but they turned out beautiful. These are not shrubs, they're an edible landscape. I can walk down my sidewalk. This was the picture we had in the past, that in the future I could walk down the sidewalk and pick huckleberries. Then on each side, we used the fat pine lightered as a fence, I guess you would say. And huckleberries love to be mulched. So we mulch with the leaves that fall from all these trees. I rake the leaves and throw them over on this side, and we leave it just mulched. Those leaves end up turning into dirt eventually. And huckleberries grow real well under other trees. They don't like to be out in the sun. I added a few, I don't remember, is this verbena? I don't remember, I think that's what it is. In between on the ground, off and on, in the near future, you'll see yellow flowers all down the sidewalk in spots. And this is the other side of the sidewalk. You see how we used it as a fence. We've raked and cleaned all of this, mulched it, and put some of the leaves over here. There's a lot of leaves fall. We did not put them all. Now, we have a few azaleas spotted out in here underground, and we try to mulch around them somewhat with our own leaves. And this is a tame dogwood, an English dogwood, I believe they call them. I put one here and here. They've already bloomed. They were beautiful white blooms about 2 weeks ago. They're gorgeous. This one's doing better than that one, but they're both doing really well. Then I have, again, the yellow, I don't know if it's verbena, I think, but I don't remember. Yellow something here and here at the beginning of the sidewalk. And we put these two lanterns that are solar lanterns so that people can see how to get in. But let me show you what the huckleberries are looking like today. You can see they're not your normal bushy box hedges. They're all shapes, all sizes. Even the huckleberries are different sizes, but let me show you what I'm fixing to pick. Look at these things. I'm talking everywhere in here. Now, not all the trees are as loaded, or bushes are as loaded as this one, but a couple of them are. And look at the size. The size is what's just amazing. These things are huge. I'm going to show you the ones I picked at the cabin. Look at the difference. Huge difference in the ones at the cabin and the ones here. These are big. The cabin, lots of those around the cabin are in their original spot. And I'm not sure if these, what the deal is. Maybe Danny fertilized them, who knows. But they're getting some fertilized from somewhere, because they're growing even better than the ones at the cabin in the wild. And what's amazing, this one right here seems to have none on the top at all. But down low, look, all over the place. They're all in there. Then this one has a few, none down low hardly, but around in here up high. This one is growing crazy, but hardly any berries at all. It may or may not ever produce. There are many different types of huckleberries. We found that out the first year picking. Some of them are tear-shaped, some of them are round, some of them are small and never get very big like the ones at the cabin. Some of them are huge. So this one has a lot of green ones on it, so it's going to be a while before those are ready. But as I walk down the sidewalk, you see this is the first one I showed you. It is loaded in the back all over the place with berries. The next one hardly has any. Then you've got, this one has sporadic in the middle. This one is kind of odd shaped, a few at the top. This one, a few in the middle, and so forth and so on. It's just amazing how these berries do. And a lot of green ones. Some turning. Look how many is on this one that will turn over the next few weeks. This one, lots and lots of berries on it, and they're starting to turn. I'm going to get quite a few off of this one also. Y'all, this one's little, and all of these were planted within a year of each other. We did have to come back and put 3 or 4 in spaces, but some of them just took off. This one is doing really great, and it's just amazing to look in there and see all the fruit, the berries in there. And I don't have to go in the woods. The first couple of years or so, I went in the woods, and little woods that I could have got snake bit, and Danny would go with me because he didn't want me to step on a snake while trying to harvest. Now this one's taken off. It's about 9 to 10 feet tall, and it puts on a few berries later in the season. It's got berries on it now, but most of them are really green. You don't get these for a while. These are a little bit later, probably 2 weeks or more later than most of the others. So a different type of huckleberry. This one has just turned into a big tree, big tree. And it usually produces more than any of the others, but this year it is very sporadic. And what little bit I'm gonna get, I've been watching the birds yesterday. Danny and I sat and watched the birds hit this tree all afternoon. So if there was a bunch on it, they downed it. Doesn't mean they weren't there. It just means the birds got them. So the birds are starting to hit a lot of our berries. So you have to be early. And I can hear the birds in the background. Early morning, they're somewhere else. But around lunch and afternoon, they'll hit my huckleberries. And here, this is already bloomed out, you see? Isn't it gorgeous? I'm gonna have this all in here. All this will be blooming yellow before long. And I have a piece over here, and like I said, all that up there at the beginning is yellow. It's gonna be pretty, and I get to eat from my sidewalk. Foraging at its best. With the exception of about a spoonful, all these came from off my sidewalk. It's probably 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup. It's a lot, maybe even a cup. It's hard to tell in this. But you say that's not many berries. It is. You can take 1 spoonful of these berries and add to yogurt or ice cream or in a smoothie or whatever, and it is awesome. They have so much powerful punch in that tiny little bite. You don't need a lot of them. And guys, this is my edible landscape. This is what Danny and I intended all along, is to be able to walk out in our old age and pick from the sidewalk and not ever have to go in the woods and worry about snakes. Now we may have to worry about a snake on the sidewalk, but we keep this pretty much where we can see them if they come through. So I hope you enjoyed a little bit about the history of why we have huckleberries here on our sidewalk as we walk in and out of our house, why we built our landscape here on the front the way we did. Thank you guys from Crazy Days.